I'm here with Councillor Ian Gilbert, leader of the Labour Group on Southend Borough Council. Ian, could you please tell us what your concerns are about what happens to the council now?
Well, I've been following Southend politics for a long time now, probably since about 2002-3. And I recall seeing, what the Conservatives were like back then. I recall in 2005 when the council was rated third worst in the entire country for the management of its finances. I recall us having the unhappy record of having a school in special measures for longer than any other school in the entire country. I recall the council being a soft touch for developers, where what happened in the town didn't meet the needs of local people. And, then I saw the Conservatives lose, a number of leaders in quick succession until they finally drafted in Nigel Holcroft. Nigel, no matter what we disagreed on, certainly couldn't be argued that he was anything other than competent, and I think he lent a veneer of competence to the Conservative administration at the time. But I look at the people who are forming this administration now, and many of them are those same people who were responsible for getting the council in such a mess in that early period. We have a cabinet made up of yesterday's men and women. I don't think they've got the energy to take the town forward.
Could you take us through what happened tonight at the council's appointments meeting?
Well, we learnt a number of things tonight. Obviously, as anticipated, there was a deal done between the Conservatives and UKIP, which handed the control of the council to the Conservatives. Possibly the most surprising thing would be that the Conservatives have actually broken already their manifesto pledge to cut the cabinet, and have actually increased the size of the cabinet by one. We assume that that's in order to buy off somebody who was threatening to jump ship from the Conservative group. Immediately that smacks of weakness in the administration. We learned that UKIP have not taken up any of their places on scrutiny committees. I find that absolutely appalling. They're elected to do a job and to take part in these meetings. They're disdaining to do so. That doesn't bode very well for the coalition hanging together. We saw an election between Councillor David Norman, who's a very experienced former chair of Development Control, and Councillor Waterworth, whose main contribution to Development Control seems to be dismissing residents as being nosy or complainers when they voice some perfectly proper objections. We saw the Conservatives side with their UKIP colleagues to vote in Councillor Waterworth as chair of Development Control Committee, a position that I don't think he's even had the proper training for. I think that's very worrying for the town when, because if you get something wrong on Development Control Committee, the council can incur all sorts of court costs, or we can be left, like we were before, with inappropriate developments. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and I really worry about the future of that committee now.